just gonna go ahead and get started reading because I'm reading a little bit and I'm gonna come back. Let me turn this down because I'm hungry. I think a spider bit my face last night while I passed out down here on the phone with my boy in the Dominican Republic. Him and his sister, man. It's like real. I don't know. It might be a spider. I don't know what that is. Well, I hope these mugs ain't sending no little nanite poisonous drones in. You'll have a sad awakening. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this going. Y'all know about Jack D. Forbes, right? I had actually pulled it up now. Because I had to log in. I think I logged in over it like an idiot. Yeah, I did. I had to log back into my account. I don't know what's going on with this this is TV. Anyway, a lot of y'all know that Jack Douglas Forbes was an American historian, writer, scholar, and political activist who specialized in Native American issues. He is best known for his role in establishing one of the first Native American studies programs. Now, Jack D. Forbes, and I know it's going to hit the natives kind of hard, was an Irishman. I don't care what anybody think. The two people that went and conquered Japan were the same two individuals. Whether one looked like this or the other one was round-eyed. I want to say Ashkenaz, one and the same. Then molded and blended. And as you know, when I read Arthur Koestler's 13th Tribe about how they worked hand in hand with the Mongols and those who conquered the Mohammedans and all that, murdered Muhammad, and assimilated and make what you see today. And it's not about hate. And why do I say that? Well, in his American discovery of Europe, and what troubles my mind is a lot of these so-called natives read and learn this, and yet they're very dismissive. You know why? Because there are those who actually know the damn truth. All right, and I'm not going to play pity pat and all that. Let me read this to you. It's introduction. I'm going to read the introduction. When I read this book to you, it's going to be along with one other book. Picture great giant turtles from the Caribbean following the Gulf Stream to the coast of Cornwall and other parts of Europe. Now, we already broke that down long before this guy even passed, Jack D. Forbes even made this book. We all knew about the circle of motion because, hell, I was in the military when the motherfuckers was coming in 5 days from so-called South Africa. They had 5 days arriving down to goddamn Miami. It's funny how all the fighting age Africans been arriving in Spain, France, all over the motherfucker. And the governments ain't doing nothing. Anyway, same thing with the Chinese. Anyway, to the coast of Cornwall and other parts of Europe, diving occasionally to feed upon jellyfish as they make their epic journeys. Picture also ancient American mariners, perhaps from the Caribbean or the east coast of North America. Hello. Also following the Gulf Stream in dugout boats, large and small, reaching places as diverse as Ireland, Holland, and Iberia. Visualize the surprise of Christopher Columbus when he actually met two such Americans, and that's not what we were called. A man and a woman at Galway Island, some 15 years before making his famous voyage of 1492. You know, I got all those books. The story of ancient Americans as seafarers, mariners, and navigators is, for me, a fascinating, although often overlooked aspect of history. Evidence presented here will show that American Indians were builders of great boats, up to almost 100 feet in length in the Caribbean, and were outstanding students of the ocean's currents, storms, winds, and resources. The epic story of American seafaring includes maritime cultures of northeastern North America, fishing at sea for challenging prey such as swordfish, developing advanced toggling harpoons as early as, and we know about the Mi'kmaq and the Pequot, niggas, the Ananoia, all these fake ass pale skin and Mongol, New Age Asian playing us. No, nigga, we all know our history. 7,500 years ago, and involving the red earth culture, and may have spread as far as Europe. Now, my Mongol brothers, y'all are Tartarians, but you're Cabbage Patch babies. Take it however the fuck you feel. There's enough of us to know shit about every 10 of us to every one of you that know this. And the story of ancient seafaring also includes the daring voyages of Eskimo Inuit groups from Greenland and Labrador, and we already know the original first book of the Inuits, niggas. And all of a sudden, mysteriously in 1970, a new book comes out and they whitewash the damn same pages. And all of a sudden, then another book comes out and it's updated about 7 revision. Boy, y'all, these idiot Pelicans can't stop. Anyway, designed kayaks and larger umiaks, voyages that took them along the coast of Greenland, sometimes passing underneath huge ice mountains, arching over the coastline and always facing terrible obstacles from storms and drifting ice. Unbelievably, perhaps, intrepid Inuit kayakers show up in the waters of England, Scotland, and elsewhere, whether arriving directly from America or escaping from European whaling vessels. I just wanted to share that. Oh, Jack D. Forbes, studied history on him, about his great-great-great-grandma. Yeah, I know, they tell me, we going, no, she was a orphan. Ain't my problem. Now, let's go ahead. Custodians of Time. Robbie Cottrell. That's him right there, of course. I should be writing one of these books, right? I ain't trying to tell him myself. Not like that. Got enough people doubt, and I like to have it like that. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. Let me make sure I have the right page. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let me make sure it's still a little loud there in the background. There we go. I note with pleasure that your scientists and psychologists have at least taken an interest in our conversations. I trust they will find it all interesting, but I fear they will ridicule me and undoubtedly you. Now, after leaving the patient's room, before they went their separate ways, the group agreed to have a private meeting in the family room at the end of the ward. Now, once everyone was inside, Sidney closed the door to address his colleagues. Well, I didn't expect that. I just can't tell if he is toying with us or if he has any ulterior motive. Excuse me. That's what I've been thinking. Westbrook confirmed Hill's assessment, as did Professor Appleyard, but Tricia Hunt found herself reluctantly sitting on the fence. I probably would have been there. As I have previously explained, he has his historical facts right, although his Egyptian theme of connecting Moses with Akhenaten seems rather surreal. Why? Inspector Thomas got to his feet to leave. Perhaps we need an Egyptologist. I just don't trust your patient, he states. And to my mind, he could still be a terrorist. But I'm happy to leave the inclusion of an Egyptologist with you. You never know. There might be a chance that this goddess of truth and justice might tell you what we need to know. But I honestly doubt it. So here's Ma'at. Was both the goddess and the personification of truth and justice. Her ostrich feathers represented truth, and on the other side is Thoth, the Egyptian god of knowledge and time. Now, we have covered these two quite when we're talking about Enlil and Amen and all the other ones, and the sister who threw a fit, who didn't like what was going on. Thoth was one of the deities of the Egyptian pantheon. In art, he was often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis or a baboon. Animals sacred to him. His feminine counterpart was Shashat, and his wife was Ma'at. And y'all know how to Google those pictures, all right? And then tomorrow we'll be going to session 5. In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. I just wanted to finish off that last part because I found it very important. So that way, you know, we got all these serious scholars who are all in Egyptology and everything else, but all they do is look at Africa. That should show y'all they don't know shit. They like truth of information and knowledge steeped in the wisdom that comes from it. You know what? Let's go ahead and highlight that because I'm just going to mark it because I actually want to put a number on this page. Besides it saying 5, I want to put something else on it. Okay. I'm hungry. Yeah, I just wanted to read that. This is a very good read by J.D. Forbes, but he's playing with a lot of truth too. And I want to show you a picture, and some of y'all already seen the real picture, right? The colored one. Y'all seen these pictures, and you know exactly who they are. Now, what's funny, in these books, they have to whitewash. Y'all seen that real picture, right? A whole bunch of niggas. The original painted one. And then this one right here, I actually have this. And you can see the afros and the bald spot and everything. Now, the thing about this is they're actually holding a pale skin. Right here, they're holding a pale skin. See right there? Can you see him with the beard? I'm going to put my finger on him. My finger's over top of his head, right there. With the beard. And all these are Negroes. Because in the original picture, they're all black. Dark brown. I mean, and afros with black curly afros. But you know, when you're doing something like this, you got to, you know, be quick. Yet in here, he uses the term Native African American Indians. And we know no such thing as African American exists. And I will read the people he utilized in the beginning before that. I just wanted to give you that. His references and sources of information, and you'll be able to come to your own conclusion. But he's telling the Native community, no, these motherfuckers been here a long fucking time. Probably longer than us. And no shit. It's not been here. We used to have one world where everybody got together and there was a split up and something happened. Destruction from above and below. Whether you believe it or not, I really don't give a damn. Because you were raised in the ignorance by these damn lizard things or whatever you want to call them. I don't care what you want to. I don't disrespect lizards like that. All right, I find it a slap in the face when you disrespect wonderful animals such as lizards and iguanas and all that other stuff. Take that however you feel. Okay, here we go. So here we're going to get into, remember chapter 17, the summer gate and the spiritual education. Now this is Navigator Across the Ice Walls, Worlds Beyond Antarctica, no Scafano, and this is the brother right here, Claudio Naselli. Remember I told y'all to look him up? Yeah, okay, yes. Oh, my fault. There you go. All right, let's get into it. Now, damn, it's going to get kind of cold, ain't it? Now, the summer gate was a success since the custodians were not noticing our presence. When entering the lands for several years, the whole group and even Butler were forbidden to enter by order of Fael, who considered that if they found us there, not only would they put an end to our lives, but they would try to get information from us using any means. And the whole plan would run a serious risk. As we said, the plan had to be perfect or not exist at all. And because a failed plan was an assured reset. Now the years went by, and the plan of the spiritual awakening of the human beings in the known lands had been increasing and was developing in a correct and safe way, mind you. And the teachers who entered through the mentioned portal were able to carry out the teachings and form the form of education that any child received here in these lands, prioritizing the importance of the human soul and unconditional love and empathy. Unfortunately, as we imagined, certain black hands began to be noticed. Black hands, black pope, black cabal, black blah, 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 blah. Noticed around these teachings, confusing the human being and causing many to move away. These three great premises began to be corrupted as well as to become a cruel business. That's why I say Pelicans consider themselves racist, walk around errant. These are the dumbest sons of, they're going to be destroyed. And that's not because they don't want to. Thank goodness for those who realize the error in their ways and realize they made a mistake. The ones who found out the truth, these idiots, and they're not a lot of them. Some people is arrogantly believing in a lot, and they don't know no better. But those who walk like they have some forced vengeance, they're pretty damn stupid, beyond the scope of it. But as I said before, there were other plans to supplant these others when things began to get dark. It was a constant struggle so that our incident would not be discovered, but neither should we let the plans fall into the hands of the custodians completely. Now, it was time now to carry out another plan that would bring consequences. A navigator and faithful friend would arrive from these lands with a vessel built here simulating the time of that moment and would tell his story to the world. He would reveal major issues that needed to be known for those who wanted to listen. An Arctic passage between walls of ice, discovery of other lands, and the ancestral republic would be, will be named for the first time in the history of this humanity, with different names, mind you. Now, the story would be intermingled with themes of the time, both economic and social, for its apprehension. And we knew the system created based on the strong scientific conditioning by means of heliocentrism, and it was no easy task. The ancestral navigator spent some time in a well-known harbor within the ice walls, where he showed the curious a lot of real information about the Republic and the human past, including about the giant humans. Before the story was published, a lot of information was manipulated, and the story came out half-baked, being quite confusing and leaving several important points unmentioned. Now, the author ended up disappearing and being locked up. Oh, this is down the road, y'all. They're jumping back and forth. My faithful friend returned urgently to the lands, as this would draw the attention of the custodians, who would seek by all means to understand how the information had been leaked. Now, while they were confident in their manipulation, they would seek other means to dissuade him. And we knew that a not-so-friendly visit was expected that could come from either the known lands, custodial, or Anunnaki. Now, the custodians avoided us again, and this made us stronger. And the giant humans, as Butler once remarked, would sooner or later give their help. And great technology was again shared, and with this, we were again ahead of the custodial events. Now, what were the moves of the custodians in this silent war? They would use the human being to match their technology, and this would bring great consequences, as the human being was not prepared for the use of such advanced technology coupled with custodial colonizing conditioning. It was a time bomb that was not long in coming, and great wars and a deadly plague were precipitated into the environment for the enjoyment of the custodians. Now, human expeditions to Antarctica began, financed by leaders who had direct connection with the reigning power, and they knew they had to focus on education to continue corrupting the new human generations. Several space achievements would come to lay solid foundations of heliocentrism, which is bullshit, and the possibility of other lands behind the ice walls would be almost buried. They started then with the creation of bases around the entire Antarctic ring, added to the exclusion zones, a strong militarization of key areas, and also, not long after the Summer Gate was discovered, the custodians took this as a game to demonstrate their power against ours. We feel that, in a way, they enjoyed it, but they also knew they were risking too much. Check that out. A few years before the first custodial attack on our lands, called Operation High Jump, pay attention, by means of a large number of human soldiers and custodial technology, the media barely mentioned it. But it was one of the biggest moves made by any military force, largest movement by any military force in the history of the new humanity. Now, the leader was known as Richard Byrd and was used in several missions in reconnaissance of other lands. But in the official missions, he would never reach our lands. Although his attack could endanger our people, both us and the Anakim had no intention of attacking them, but to make them withdraw their armed forces in a peaceful way. Remember he talked about fightings, aircraft being shot down, and leaving quickly? Anyway, make them withdraw their armed forces in a peaceful way. The Anakim masters talked several times with their leader, but another force entered the conflict, and a great battle was fought just behind the first dome. Then the same leader would make contact several times with the Anakim masters, and would also help us to carry out the plan of human awakening within the known lands, becoming an infiltrator for a while, eventually by choice or obligation. This changed dramatically, and as we were informed, the military leader delivered valuable and secret information of the Anakim technology, and was the first of the group of the new humanity to be sent to Mars in recognition of his work. They tapped on it. Excuse me. Anyway, this is what Richard Admiral Byrd did. Then withdrew their armed forces in a peaceful way, right? But then the same leader would make contact several times with the Anakim, because I don't know if you heard it, masters, and would also help us to carry out the plan of human awakening within the known lands, becoming an infiltrator for a while, double agent, while eventually by choice or obligation. This changed dramatically, and as we were informed, the military leader, Admiral Byrd, delivered valuable and secret information of the Anakim technology, and was the first of the group of the new humanity to be sent to Mars. Remember the place I told you was destitute, destroyed? Everybody committed suicide that was remaining? In recognition of his work. Attacking us with other human beings was one of the many perverse strategies of the enemy. It was their way to demonstrate their power and make us face our past. Since we sought to liberate it and not to confront them in absurd battles that were defended by mere conditioning. We knew that all this game that they were carrying out would end abruptly by their way of acting. We were going to continue gaining ground in this awakening, and they would start attacks within the environment with the different techniques as always, and natural disasters, pandemics, wars between nations, etc. That's why all these people fighting is the stupidest motherfuckers on them. Anyway, those academic books that until now seemed untouchable begin to be strongly questioned, and the entire academy begin to reel from the possibility of another model. Now the infinite earth would begin to emerge and would be the ultimate plan that would give way to the final liberation attempt. And that's what we're going to get into, and I have to get the map to show you all some of these things on the map. But the next is going to be chapter 18, Osiris and the Independent Lands. And it gets really, really interesting. It really does. All right, and so I'm going to eat. I'm going to come back here a little later, and we're going to read a whole lot of the books. And I'm going to read one more thing out of this book right here, American Discovery of Europe. It's pretty intriguing. It's, you know, especially when you know something. But he really gives a lot of truth, mixed up with the absurdities, you know, African American, black, white, all that goofy shit. But anyway, appreciate y'all taking the time. I mean, what y'all want to donate 50 cents? I mean, come on, y'all. It ain't going to kill you for a couple of dollars. It's always the same people, and I appreciate them. I'm like, I can't believe. I mean, unless some of y'all got a crack problem or drug addict. I mean, and I understand that. You don't have to speak up. You don't have to say nothing. You know, I can take it. You know, and some of y'all might say, "Well, you buying them books," but I'm going to take that money and match it, and I'm going to keep it within us as far as knowledge. I mean, if you know how to do it, cool. You know, it's not these books. They've shut down bookstores, and it's like not all the libraries have all this good information about. So you got to know what you're looking for. And I know some people have said, "Oh, so and so read." Oh, yeah. Well, go back and ask them to break things down correctly then, because I've looked at some of the people that read some books and they broke stuff down completely redundant to the damn lies that are being taught. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna eat my grits right here, my eggs and shit, and sit back, listen to this little music, and get myself situated so I can come back on. Yeah, my mother stung me. Something got me. A lot of spiders. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Hey, Lamons, what's going on? Hey, Snoop, what's up, beloved? I guess everybody else is working, and you know they're messing with the notifications. I don't want to give that no energy. I appreciate y'all taking the time. Let me go ahead. I'm going to eat, and when we come back, we're going to get right into when I'm going to read that. I was looking at the books that we finished off. There's quite a few of them. We're going to get right into George Jones and all that. And somebody else said, I don't care about them people reading it. They don't even know what they're reading. And then we're going to make sure we read the one for the sisters, because I picked that up, and then I don't like to drop that off because I know it's real interesting now where they're at. All right? So, my love and respect, beloved sisters, my brothers, and I'll see y'all here shortly, all right?